Mic check. Hello, 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 and welcome to another Daily Code Fun. I am One Lion, and we've been playing around with MAUI over the past couple of weeks, maybe a few weeks now, maybe a month. I don't know how long it's been. It's been a while. So we're just gonna dive right in today. We're gonna finish up the thing that we were trying to do over the past 4 or 5 sessions, which is just getting a custom title bar. That's it. That's all I want. I want a custom title bar. We made quite a few changes to the app over time. We tried different approaches. One of the main things that we've done so far is, yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know. Oh no, this just gave me an idea. Okay, that's bad. We'll experiment with a lot of stuff. But anyway, hello everyone. I hope you're all doing fantastic on this Tuesday. It is July 19th. Moving right along. Hello, Smab. How have you been? I hope things are super duper well for you. So I've decided that I've been hot. Oh yeah, tell me about it. I kid. Yeah, it's been super warm here as well. I'm sure temperature outside is doing something crazy today. But I heard that it's the hottest day in the UK, or supposed to be predicted to be the hottest day in the UK. Something like 40 degrees Celsius. Or 40. I can't remember. Somebody said it yesterday. Okay. So yeah, I've decided that we really, I know that I've tried to do this multiple times, but we really are just going to implement the version of this that did work so that we could see it and then play around with it. I started off with the majority of the UI stuff, which is here. Here's our title bar. And then down here is where our page content is going to go. So I may as well put the same page content. Actually, I don't want the same page content. I just want to prove that we can have content here. This is a text block. And we're going to set up the application to do all of the things, like all of the things that are needed. So I don't know what all of these I will need, but I'm going to go ahead and pull in all of the namespaces that are in my sample and all of the fields that I think I will need. Some of this stuff that I'm copying and pasting over looks like, or that I'm not copying and pasting over, are specifically for implementing parts of the demo from the other app that we already have scaffolded out, sketched out, whatever you want to call it. I'll show that app real quick and I will stop saying as well. Okay, so this one, whoa, I ran both of them. Anyway, the sample app looks like this, where we were able to create a new window when doing when targeting Windows platform, and then we can manipulate the content in the title bar, and we can use the title bar as an actual click draggable area. You can see that the entire content bar acts as the draggable area. We can also target and customize the shapes of the control buttons. You haven't started with MAUI yet? Well, if you feel like hanging around, as soon as I finish just getting this to work in our current application, in our sample application, I am going to cry. I'm going to start a new project, a new MAUI project. Well, I don't know. How about this? Is there anything that you would like to see regarding MAUI? I will show that. Not really. Default says I do. Okay, so constructor needs to have all of this stuff in it. And we're going to read through that. I'm not going to change the size of the window at the moment. And then here's something that I see that I might be able to use. There is this render method. Why? Why isn't this render method available in this context? Oh. Oh. Interesting. Because that's a custom method. Dang. Okay, we're going to ignore that for now because, again, the only thing that I really want to see. You're stuck in Vim on the desktop. I need help exiting Vim. I apologize for any inconvenience this may be causing you. However, there is this thing called Google. Turn off the PC and then reboot and uninstall. Yeah, I don't know any Vim commands. So if that was a test, I have failed it. I'm not familiar with using Vim as my editor because I prefer using an IDE with a whole bunch of tools in it that makes development a bit easier on me. I want to focus on writing functionality, not fighting with a tool for writing code. Although I kind of am using Visual Studio Preview. Okay, so I've pretty much just taken out all of the logic for what this application does to get the title bar to have that scroll view and everything in it, because I'm trying to make it just more simple. I want it to be more simple so that we can try adding the BlazorWebView component. Control. Naming things, man. Okay, and then an app.xaml. This thing will have two things. It'll have the private window, which is going to be a Microsoft.ui.xaml.window. And this thing is going to get set on something creating. What's the name of the override? Unlaunched is what I said. What'd you hear? We do underscore window equals new main window underscore window dot activate. I think I'm trying to do some parts of it off the top of my head, which is bad. It's a bad idea for me to do that. Okay, but yes, that is the case, and that does work. So I'm wondering then if this thing still runs, actually. I'm kind of curious. I don't want to get rid of this yet, but the other example doesn't use this. But I'm going to keep that for now. Because I'm going to try a bunch of stuff. I'm going to try quite a few things. Okay, and then I think that there's also an issue with onLaunched. As I'm reading the comments that were put in the sample, that says invoked when the application is launched normally by the end user. Other entry points will be used, such as when the application is launched to open a specific file. I don't know that this would be universal across all Windows, not all Windows, all launch types based on that wording. But the way that this sounds is it doesn't matter how you launch it, it will always come in through this entry point. So I don't know. I don't know. But I think that that's everything that I need to do so that this thing uses this main window when running on Windows. Hello. Thank you so much, Hacker777, for the follow. I appreciate ya. We are here having some fun with MAUI, latest .NET technology that is making life difficult. I'm having fun with it, but just this one small piece that I would really like to get working, I just can't. And I'm probably just going to have to drop it for a while because I need to move on with the library that I'm working on, or the application that I'm working on, but specifically the library for that application. Okay, so yes, that does get called first, and it never goes into here, but it did replace my title bar, and it did replace my colors and everything like that. I didn't change the shape of the control buttons, the caption buttons. I still don't have a title up here, but actually, why don't I have a title up there? That doesn't make sense. Or is this what it looked like before? Yeah, so this text block here should be the title. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so I'm still doing something that's covering up the existing title bar. That's what's happening. What could it be? Yeah, but the weird thing is it did not jump into this window handler mapper append to mapping because it's not running the native app window. It's running my main window. So it's got to be the apply color theme where I am doing it here. Okay, back to Windows, please. F12. Wait, it's not actually applying it though. Nani? We're not doing the extends content into title bar here. I'm just wondering why this didn't actually work, but we're going to find out. Oh, oh. We'll figure some things out. My brain is churning. Okay, I have way too many things open that we don't need open. I only want the things that are potentially affecting my ability to display the title bar. Okay, so we aren't actually trying to reapply colors and stuff. Right. I did remove all of this. Which, is this actually something that I needed? Excuse me, app.xaml. Yes, yes it is. Okay. So this is just essentially back to exactly what the sample looks like. It's so weird. There's so many inconsistencies. Inconsistencies in non-consistent behavior. Disconsistent behavior. Non-reputable behavior. Wait. I just don't get it. Like, if you're going to make a sample, why wouldn't you practice, you know, like have comments everywhere and practice this formatting stuff the same across the board? I don't know. Why don't you do it? Okay. Oops. It is going to actually give me the title bar now. Hello, Tyron. It is not all fixed. It's not even close. I'm still at the same spot that I was before. So since we last spoke, I tried about 2 other approaches, and I am still just failing miserably. Perform render is never used, I know. Neither is app W. Yeah. So I don't need to do any of this stuff because I am not modifying the main window. I'm not doing anything like adding that scroll bar text. I'm still not building. Cannot add apostrophe. These 2 states are only for close button. Oh. When I uncommented, apparently it uncommented the comments too. Hello, Abaddus. Abadus. I hope you're doing well. Nope, still getting some errors. Unless I didn't actually try to run. Bum, 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 bum. Hello, President Not Sure. With your intro music. With your theme song. You and I are both hanging out over on C# Fritz's channel while he's doing more to Clip Talk, making it more amazing. Okay, so those should work. Ooh, there is probably an inject. So I don't like it that this thing doesn't give us like any information. Maybe it does. I've never actually tried to inspect E. It doesn't give us any information like in a meaningful way. XAML parsing failed. The property border brush Was not found. So yeah, okay, this is great. I'm okay with that. I didn't ever really think of inspecting the error here. I just always F5 to try to get the error to show up in line. But it always gives me there is no debugger attached. So anyway, Microsoft.ui.xaml, there is no border brush property, line 36 and 37. But it's not telling me which file really. The thing that I did uncomment was this. So are you using the right namespaces? That's question one. Yes. Yes, you are. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm going to copy this back over from the version that does work. And I'm going to get rid of this because I don't need it. Get rid of the commented out crap. But I'm not a pro developer if I don't leave the commented in stuff. All right, save. So this border brush here doesn't work for button. And apparently, my guess is I actually typed button here when I was manually typing things in. Or it's because I'm doing control template target type button. One of them. I still would put it on myself for mistyping things. Dang it, I pushed Control Z. You were supposed to undo your automatic formatting. Jerk. Oops. Oh man. No. Oh. Oof. You. 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 No. You. You. Ew. Tab. Tab. Don't delete stuff. Thank you. Whatever, that works too. No, it doesn't. Dang it. Whatever. Okay, save that. Try to rerun it. Okay, great. So there we go. So we do have the custom title bar with the modified buttons as it is defined in here. We would be able to target each thing that we want to customize in the title bar. We can add content to the actual app. The thing that I don't know how to do is to get a BlazorWebView when we create our own window. Because the BlazorWebView control comes from the MAUI Blazor. Yeah, maybe we can. Oh yeah, that's what it was. For some reason, when I'm using x:type, which comes from WinFX XAML, that is conflicting with WinFX 2006.xaml. So this X doesn't have type. So let's say in place of the text block, wait, in main window, sorry, this one here, in place of this text block, we're going to put the BlazorWebView, and that BlazorWebView is going to come from namespace webview.maui. Oh, hey, cool. Okay, and the other thing that this thing doesn't need is all of this. I don't know why the other file is using that, the sample. It's like there's stuff that just wasn't cleaned up. You're actually not in a grid anymore, so you should be fine. Okay, so the thing that was giving me a whole bunch of errors is this x:type. So we'll see if we can actually get that. Local, and we're going to use theming example dot Blazor UI. All right, and that is the thing that has our main. It's the project down here, Blazor UI, that has main.razor that we want to use as our entry point for the application that we display, or the UI for the application, I should say. But when I try to build this, it's going to tell me something about this type. Type doesn't exist in Microsoft.ui.xaml. It's just really hard to find because it's saying that nothing in there exists. Oh, root component was not found. Okay, maybe it's root component. Let's try a build again. But I still have a feeling that it's this right here. X:type was not found, verify you're not missing a namespace, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. So like there have been times when I had to use the prefix before control, and then inside of that, when I'm doing a property of that control, I didn't need the prefix. So like this is a property of the parent BlazorWebView. So I don't think so, but it's not going to hurt to try. Okay, so we're probably still getting the same error with this thing though. It's trying to build. Okay. Yes, that is correct. So local is in namespace theming example Blazor UI, and that is right here. So you can even see the namespace right here, theming example Blazor UI.main. The thing that doesn't exist is x:type. And so if I try to use something like y is 2009 that has x:type, or y:type now, then I got an error that, what is my error? I got some other error. It's just going to be really hard to find. All right, so y colon type was not found. Even though if we look at main page, X here is declared as schemasmicrosoft.com WinFX 2009 XAML. And that's the thing that's allowing me to do this. Maybe, like, is it compat? Because compat's not even used. So is that even scaffolded in a Blazor project? Scoot. Mouse. Okay. In a regular Blazor project, main page imports does not have that compat. That was just something that I was trying to do. Okay, confirmed. So this X here is referring to that namespace. And then local is referring to that namespace. So Y should be, and should already be, that same namespace. Oh, I did grab the quotation marks. Anyway, so if I undo and then repaste, you'll see that they're exactly the same namespace, but Y colon type still does not exist. And then this is .NET SDK Razor, so it should exist. Oh, that's not where. Up here. .NET SDK Razor. Not that that has any bearing on this. Yeah, so I just don't know how to get a BlazorWebView into my main window. So what if I created the BlazorWebView and the code behind instead? That was the next thing I was going to try. So as this thing is getting created, I would like to go var BlazorWebView equals new BlazorWebView. Nope. Which comes from there. Var root comp equals new root component. And I don't know what all the properties are, which is why I'm doing it like this. But component type should be type of, and then we can get main from Blazor UI. This might actually work. Was there something else? Selector, right. And that's just a string. Okay, so we can simplify this. And then we could probably simplify BlazorWebView as well. What else did BlazorWebView have? I just need to keep this thing pasted up here. Root components, plural. You can have multiple root components in the same BlazorWebView. That doesn't seem right. So we should be able to do curly bracey root components. Probably not writable. Okay. So we do have to do it this way. So we go BlazorWebView dot root components dot add root component. And now we need to somehow add this to the page. So we have the stack panel. I'm going to call it main layout. I'm also going to make it a property name. And we're going to go main layout dot add, nope, dot content dot children dot add. I never know which one of those it is. BlazorWebView. And it's going to say you can't add something that isn't a Microsoft.ui.xaml.ui element. Damn it. So I guess the other thing that I'm wondering is there a way for us to turn a MAUI control into a UI element? Hey, internets, I has a question for you. Oh yeah, I tried looking for this before. Turn MAUI control into XAML control. And it's like it doesn't really work to search for stuff like that because I don't know what the name of these technologies are. So when I'm referring to the Blazor web view, I'm talking about a control that comes from a MAUI namespace. And okay, so maybe it's turn Microsoft.maui.controls.view into a UI element. Maybe that's what I need to search for. And probably cast. So we were maui.controls.view. How to cast from, it's not really going to work. What is your underlying type? View, visual element, which is a navigable element, which is an element, which is a bindable object, and then all of that stuff. So what about controls.element? Yeah, I just really don't know what the terms are for each of these because it's like one comes from the MAUI namespace and the other comes from Microsoft.ui.xaml. And I'm trying to mix those two. And because the MAUI namespace controls essentially render as whatever platform, target platform you're going to, when I'm on Windows specifically, I should be able to take whatever MAUI control it is and turn it into the UI element for the Windows platform. So there's got to be some kind of conversion tool. Either get the underlying platform view from the control itself. visual element window gets the window containing the visual tree element if the element is contained within one. Handler, I might be able to get it from handler. And I wish I could just use these set app theme stuff, but because I have more than just light and dark theme, it doesn't work. Okay, we'll try it from the handler. What can we dot off of the handler? Absolutely nothing. Okay. I'm gonna get rid of this error real quick so that we can get some IntelliSense, I hope. What can we dot off of that? Can we get platform view? I see virtual view. I see container view. MAUI context, platform view. All right. Is it possible to cast this to a UI element? Let's just try it. See what it is that happen. Because once again, if we cast, or if we are in Windows, the MAUI rendering engine, whatever it's called, should know that this element, the handle is null, that this element is, or can be used in a UI element, but nope. And it doesn't seem to be that there are any properties that I could use. So there has to be some method or another external helper. Dude, stop trying. Okay, okay. I see the word native UI element. Maybe that's a phrase that I can use for this. So this says malware more accurately. .NET MAUI stands for .NET MAUI Platform App UI. I mean multi-platform app UI. MAUI stands for MAUI Platform. It is a bit of a mouthful, but essentially all it is I don't like that. All it is the next iteration of Xamarin. Yes, it's Xamarin v Next. So instead of there being a Xamarin.form6, we are getting .NET MAUI. Okay, good. But I know what you're thinking. Why the name change? And surely it's more than that. And you're right. Blah, blah, blah. Base class library. Did you just say library? Important to know that no longer is Xamarin some other thing that is like .NET, but it is .NET. Quick history lesson. Write once, run everywhere. What's changed? Okay. Well, actually, a lot has changed. The team at Xamarin built the infrastructure based on Mono with what was available in C# at the time and what they thought was the best way forward. However, over the years and with the rise in popularity of Xamarin, they have realized there are lots of areas and scars they wanted to fix. Once Microsoft purchased Xamarin, it was clear that the team wanted to build Xamarin into .NET fully so they could fulfill the idea of build once, run everywhere. Base class library integration is a large part of the change as Xamarin becomes a true part of .NET. Like System.io, now Xamarin.Forms becomes MAUI.UI and Xamarin Essentials. Like this is really good information, at least. Xamarin Essentials is gone with a change to multiple namespaces such as Microsoft.MAUI device, Microsoft.MAUI.media, etc. And it is all installed as workloads using Visual Studio 2022 Preview. This last part may seem odd, but it actually makes a lot more sense and drops a namespace of essentials that only really had meaning to Xamarin.Forms developers that have been doing this for a while. And oh, that really only had meaning to Xamarin.Forms developers that have been doing this a while and know the history. No, I am not good at reading. Why do you ask? Not someone I can ask about Maui. .NET MAUI will continue to release blah, 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 blah. Here's the repo. Like, I wish I knew how to navigate the repo to find exactly what it is that I'm looking for, which is how to go from the MAUI native control, not native control, MAUI abstracted control to UI elements. But anyway, as you can see, the code, as you can see, no. This all means that the process of targeting different platforms is now much cleaner and your code is abstracted away from worrying too much about the device. As you can see, the code targets .NET MAUI, and via the target device layer, the correct handlers are used to then build for that device. Okay, so this is making sense now that I have seen and experienced a lot of the struggles with making sure that I'm putting the right code in the right place. So here's MAUI, and then we have three possible underlying targets. We're focused on WinUI. Then there is the .NET base class library that all of those use. And then there is our application's code, and then each platform, each specific device. Okay. So if you're a Xamarin developer at the moment, I'm not. Talk to me like I'm not. You know about the problems in the dance to make it all work, not just the tooling, but also the complex way your code is built. One of the biggest of these is that if something is missing from Xamarin or you want to change how something looks on the screen, you have to write your own custom renderer, and this must be done for each platform, and they are tightly coupled to Xamarin Forms. Now, they're starting this sentence, making it sound like it's going to be easier. Now when you write your code, you target .NET MAUI, but do so via a handler in place of a renderer. The advantage here, so we've seen handler a lot. We've seen handler when we were doing this, interrupting the window handler, the thing that creates our window so that we can resize it and set the title bar to what we want to set the title bar to, and yeah, all of that fun stuff. Which I still don't know why this doesn't work. So we're going to revisit this set title bar to custom title bar, where my custom title bar is going to be a UI element, and then the rest of the page is going to be the same. we're going to try that out, and it's going to work. So anyway, let's keep reading after I turn these guys down. Okay. The advantage here is that you can change out the handler for each platform, even for the whole project, by moving from the default. For example, an entry control, which is an input for all of us Blazor people, an input text, input number, blah, 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 I think. An entry control of Microsoft.maui.controls.entry to a reactive entry. This means the handler, well, I don't know why that example was there. So the advantage here is that you can change out the handler for each platform, even for the whole project, by moving from the default. For example, an entry control of Microsoft.maui.controls.entry to a reactive entry. I'm assuming that reactive entry is a specific device control, like maybe an Android control. This means the handler are decoupled so that they are reusable between projects. It is all made possible with the use of these new handlers, which each can have an interface layer that your code makes use of. So now you can use the default entry or a comment entry, which again, you would have to know what comment entry is. Or if you really want control, you can make your own. No idea. But they go on to explain, how do handlers work then? As we know, our C# code oh, wait. Yeah, this is this is where I do the thing. I read ahead, and then I'm like, all right, what is this supposed to be read as? As we know, our C# code, whether we write the UI in code or express it with XAML, needs to be built and then turned into the native UI element for the device. So taking a button as an example, we can see that our code is mapped via an interface to the handler for that platform, and finally into the device native element for button. Yes, this is the process that I'm trying to do with the Blazor WebView. As always, a picture speaks louder than words, so we start with the interface for button, which our MAUI controls button uses that interface. Then when we are going to the platform itself, we have the button handler and then the Microsoft.ui.xaml.controls, which means if there is in fact a Microsoft.ui.xaml version of BlazorWebView, we should be able to get it back from the handler. But right now the handler is null. So I guess that's one thing that I need to figure out, is how do we get the handler? Cool. Do we get, I'm just curious to know. So let's not do this because that causes errors. New button. So this should be a Blazor or a MAUI button. MAUI button? MAUI button. And we'll put some text on there. Something like, oh, come on, brain, you got this. When you create a MAUI button, it doesn't have text, it has con. I'm not going to remember. It's not called text, it's called something else. Why would it be called text? It's probably called text. Dang it. I just saw that it's called text. But I could have sworn that I saw when buttons were getting created, there was another property that assigned the text that is on, that displays for the button. But whatever. A button. Width request equals 30. Height request equals 30. That's all I care about. Actually, width request we're just going to leave off, but height request we want 30. And then we're going to add I'm going to try the new button first, and it should give us an error that says we can't cast from MAUI control to UI element. So then we would do handler dot platform view as a Microsoft.xaml.ui. Maybe I could directly go to XAML. Is there a controls button? Which is good enough, so that I don't lose a bunch of stuff trying to cast it to a UI element or something. I don't know. So I guess our question here is going to be, is handler null for a new control that is created before the application is actually up and running? Handler is null. So when we create our code using code behind, we don't actually have a handler. What if instead of using Microsoft.ui.xaml for all of this stuff, we use Microsoft.maui.controls, including for the window? We'll try that, but let's read on. So looking at the third layer in this diagram, which is the one that has the MAUI UI handlers, each platform has its own specific handler. We can see there is a button handler for each of the palette forms. It's this that we can call up in our code and change settings or even swap out altogether. We can also, so these handlers here can be swapped out. Okay. We can also set things like colors globally across all controls and even target just one platform, as shown in this example. For Android, all backgrounds are set to cyan, and you will notice the use of compiler preprocessor directives. Yes, I do, but I still don't see how this is going to be beneficial to me when I don't have handlers yet. So if I'm creating a control in code and I'm trying to add it to my window, for example, why is it broke? The other big changes that are new and make for an easier transition for .NET developers from other areas like, say, ASP.NET is that the startup of the app now uses the host builder pattern. Okay, I don't care. I understand that well. How do I start? Dang. All right, so let's go through the tedious process of turning all of these into their Microsoft.MAUI.controls version. So I'm going to start off with this. Main window is now going to be a Microsoft.MAUI.controls. And so what I need to do in order to get the extends content into title bar to work is I need to say native window equals this dot handler. Why doesn't this have a handler? You think you get somewhere, and then suddenly you just get stopped right in your tracks. Anyway, thank you so much, Playboy Z, Playboys Z, for the follow. I saw you over on C# Fritz's channel. Why doesn't window have a handler? It has window handler. So do I need to use window handler for this too? To get the events? And that's when I do it? Let's try that. We would do that by going window handler dot if whatever the one is here, mapper, append to mapping, type of window, no, main window, main window. We'll get the handler and the view back. You can't. Name of? Name of. Name of. Then in here, we should be able to get the native window. XAML window. And this is where we should be able to create our new. Yeah, what I don't get is a lot of stuff. I don't get a lot of stuff. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna undo all this. Except maybe the whole Blazor root component thing. I'm gonna keep that. But I'll comment it out so we don't break stuff. And I'm gonna create another one of these called a MAUI window. MAUI main window, which is going to be a window, which is hopefully going to be a MAUI controls window, which is what I'm expecting. Yes. And your code behind is going to be a window as well, which should get initialized component, I hope. So the chances are it's possible it will not be able to have an initialized component. I think you still need a something. Just grid. X, not content. Gridded row 0. Okay. Unknown window in namespace 2021 MAUI. So can we do XML namespace MAUI controls? Microsoft dot MAUI dot controls. Why isn't there just a Microsoft.MAUI controls? Because we already have it, right? From this thing. So the main application that I'm working on for my job, I am only targeting Windows. However, there are plans to also target Android and iOS and Mac. So the long answer is yes. The short answer is no. Thank you for your question. And a pasta. Save. Okay. So it's still telling me that window doesn't exist. But it should, because it comes from this namespace, which is just it's this namespace, but as I don't know why it looks like this. It's a XAML thing. I just want to know why this isn't building otherwise. So the window, the window start tag on line 2 does not match the end tag. Ops. And what happened here? When did I do that? Okay. Our next thing says, yeah, so window doesn't exist in this namespace. How weird. Main page? Window.main page? Nope. Yeah, this thing even picks up the namespace Microsoft.MAUI.controls.window. So it knows that it's a thing. Can I just leave it empty? I just have a feeling it's requiring a child at minimum. Microsoft Mac. Window. Window. No, that's going to be hard to search for too because Windows is the name of a platform that it can target. Controls or widgets. The user interface of a .NET platform app UI, .NET MAUI. I keep saying I miss words. .NET multi-platform app UI, .NET MAUI app is constructed of objects that map to the native controls of each platform. Concept makes perfect sense. The main control groups used to create the user interface of a .NET MAUI app are pages, layouts, and views. A .NET MAUI page generally occupies the full screen or window. So yeah, inside of my window, I would put a page. Let's do a content page, for example. You know what? What if I didn't put it in the platform folder and I put it out here? I wonder if being inside of the platform window folder is causing it to not know some of these elements. So if we changed you to window, changed you to window, and then we had a content page inside of you. So we don't have any squiggly lines, however, and we have an initialized component. So that is probably going to build. This is what I was kind of hoping for, and I think I was leaning toward this, toward this for a while, which is trying to find a way to do everything for the UI using MAUI, MAUI native code, MAUI native code, and then adding the controls when targeting windows for the title bar, for the custom title bar. And I think this might be the way to do it. So in app, in override create window, new main MAUI window, I don't want to simplify it. And then activate. So I don't know how to make it do the create window. It's almost like I need to. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do with that, but let's just see what happens. So the only thing that I did was I swapped out my window on create for MAUI window, main MAUI window. And I should still have a breakpoint there to find out what happens. Oh, this might work. It ran, but I still have this thing that is getting in the way. Because it launched, it showed me my window, but it was the main window control from there. And I didn't want that. Now we have this one. That is a thing that happens the way that it's supposed to. It still has a null handler. Yeah. I need a way to cause the create window event to happen for Hello, Barbarosso. So I've heard Bob Ross said it has been so hot today. Legit 41 degrees C, which is super duper hot. Pretty close to, I think it's over 110, right? Fahrenheit? I don't know. 105. According to my calculator. But yeah, I hope you're staying cool. Please do not get hurt. Overexert yourself. You know what? What other things do we have that we can override? Hello, Zotra Lord. Konnichiwa. I'm gonna get a tan from just lying in bed. Oh, Barbarazzo. What? Thank you so very much for the raid. I am in the middle of looking confused, so good timing. Awesome. Thank you for being here. What time is it? I will be here for another 45 minutes staring at the possible overrides that we can do. So, hello, welcome to the Daily Code Fun. Zoltra Lord is winking. He subscribed. Oh my gosh, thank you for the resub, Zoltra Lord. That is so nice of you. Really, really appreciate it. 3 months in a row. Insane. Avidus is saying to Bob Ross, I don't think England is known for having lots of air conditioners. Oh my gosh, and Simple Game Dev. Thank you guys so much for the raids. I guess I'll hold off for a few seconds. I don't know if any of you are getting commercials or what. Hopefully not. Um, but I'll introduce myself shortly, soon-ish. I wonder if...
I got a bad feeling about this.
I doubt it. Like, it'd be really nice if I could pass in the window that I want to use this activation state. Anyway, I will. Now that he says whoop whoop. Hello, Simple Game Dev. Of course, you guys know him. I talk about him all the time. Amazing developer, amazing game dev, making a really cool looking game that is inspired by tacos. It's inspired by tacos, and he is going to make it to where you have to eat virtual tacos by moving your hand. No, it's inspired by Portal and Half-Life, and it's got, from what I can tell, a great story. Tacos. It's got a great story. The he always talks down, his abilities, even though he's been doing game dev for like what you said, 200,000 years or something like that. Um, it's fantastic looking. It's got this really cool aesthetic to it, and I just love the work that he does. He does a lot of it in Unity. He does some Blender, but yeah, it's just cool. Here's a clip.
Before you even said hi, and I think that is saying something about our relationship. Give me 1 sec. It's not bad. It's not bad. It could go like
so
a little
good.
lower or something.
It looks so good. And then Zach. Is it just Zach or is it Satch? Is it actually pronounced Satch like Satch Bell? No, no clips. Aw. Zach. Okay. So Zach is also a game developer, it looks like. Game developer, game player, game all of it. Let me get you on screen here. Software and game development stream. Working on, looks like a 2D sprite game. Oh, looks good. It looks like you have fun on your game. Oh, come on. I saw more content on the... There. I love this little... Let's make that big. I love this little thing. Oh, a card collector game? Card drafting roguelite or roguelike game. Defending a town populated by beans. We got some beans to make tacos. Oh no, I love code. I love code. I just wanted to see just a sample of what it is that you're working on, and it looks fun. I like this style. Oh yeah. Scary. So yeah, definitely check out Zach. Oh wait. I'm following. No, I could see myself. Run away. I missed some chat, but let me introduce myself real quick now that everyone is probably through their commercials. I am Umberto. I'm one lion. I write enterprise software, but lately I've been playing around a lot with new technologies and just trying to learn how to use MAUI. So I am working at a consulting firm currently, and I have been given the opportunity for the current project that I'm working on to use MAUI, which is a brand new .NET technology that just went into GA the day after I started using it. GA means general availability, by the way, which means that it's out for production use. However, the tooling is not ready yet, so the tooling still doesn't work very well. I have to use Visual Studio. I have to use Visual Studio Preview in order to get it to work. But I got everything, the whole thing that drew me to this MAUI application type was I wrote, how do I put this? I'm a web developer. I don't want to say that I'm a web developer because I do it all, but I've been doing web development the most in my career. And so I got really, really comfortable with web tools, web development tools. I can write HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Blazor, components, Razor pages, MVC pattern for the MVC application type, .NET APIs. So I'm so used to that and I'm comfortable with it. But for the place that I'm working at, they're like, our client needs a desktop application written and we want you to do the UI for it. I'm like, cool. Can I use MAUI? Can I use Blazor? Because I can do that super fast. So it ended up taking about a month and a couple weeks now, I think. Yeah, so I actually started working on it maybe 2 weeks after getting the job, and I finished all of the UI, all of the clicking on stuff and having it interactable. So that works beautifully and nice. And I did it all using Blazor, which you can do with MAUI. But the one thing that I have not been able to do is have the MAUI application window respect changes to the theme, which is really hard. So let me just show what I am talking about, and then I'll catch up on chat. So this should still work. I don't think I broke anything. I hope I didn't broke anything. Just go, just do it. Get rid of those breakpoints. Okay, so the application itself, this is a desktop application, but the brown, sorry, all of it's brown, I guess now. The part of the window that is responding to these changes, that is a Blazor WebView. So I wrote Blazor code, and Blazor is another .NET technology that allows you to write C# just about everywhere for a web application. So this drop-down list, when I do a change event, that's being handled by a C# handler. I didn't write any JavaScript to do anything. It's not a post back where it reloads the page. It just changes the actual content of the page. And in this case, adds a class. Well, I guess I did write some JavaScript. So the way that I add the class to the body tag here is through JavaScript interop. But the actual thing that calls that JavaScript interop is a C# event handler that says on change, find out what was selected, send that to the JavaScript thing that says change my class to the theme class, and then update the UI. So something I guess that's more interesting to see is when I navigate from one page to another, these are actual different pages, but you don't see any kind of like refresh. It's truly a SPA, a single page application that hey, is that lagging behind one? Okay, no. That allows you to just navigate, change the content inside of this area based off of the page that you have selected. And so there's just so many cool things that you can do with Blazor. And one of the newest things that you can do with Blazor is put this BlazorWebView inside of an application that can be built to target Android, iOS, Mac, Tizen, and Windows, as well as also use that same UI for a web application. There may be some logic that needs to be done differently. For example, if I was trying to access the system, the file system, on the user's machine, that would only be done on Windows, Android, Mac, iOS, because those are running on the device. Versus if I'm running it on the web, then it's either running in the browser as a static app or from a server. And so I would need to not be able to, well, I wouldn't have access no matter what to the user's hard drive. So I would need to ask them to upload files if that's what I needed them from them in the web version. Copies? Makes sense? So anyway, as you can see, I am changing the theme and the title bar isn't changing at all unless I click off of it and then back on. Then the title bar responds to the change. So I've been struggling a lot with figuring out, because it's using a whole bunch of desktop like technology, actually it is just desktop technology, I don't know exactly how to target that title bar and get it to refresh. In this case, the only thing that's left, well, two things that are left. One thing is for it to actually refresh when I make that color theme change. And the second thing is to display the title up there. But I don't know how to do that either. So a lot of the resources that I've been reading through have been pointing to create your own main window and then tell the application to start with that main window. And when I do that, there's another issue that happens. Oops, uncomment. So this is where I'm replacing the entire window itself with a window that has a custom title bar, but the end result is I don't know how to get the BlazorWebView, that control that has all of my UI, to render inside of here. And all of my attempts have been fruitless. So one approach that I tried was to create the BlazorWebView inside of this MAUI page here. And that looks like this. And it got close, but then it's like, I have no idea what this X:Type is. And it's like, but you do. Why don't you? There. Okay. So I'm kind of curious to know, what if I just do type? Do you know what that is? No. Okay. And then this is different than the type that this thing is expecting. So yeah, I don't know what to use there. But that's the only thing that is preventing this from working, for me to use the BlazorWebView on this page. Then I tried to create it programmatically. Programmatically. Oh, dang it. That goes away. In the code behind. So that's all of this stuff here, where I can create everything up to the component itself. Oops. But when I try to add it to the layout, to this this stack panel right here, which I called main layout at some point in time, the first error that I encountered was BlazorWebView. You can't turn a Microsoft.MAUI.controls or all of this thing. You can't turn this into a UI element. And I'm like, but in the end, this thing gets rendered as a WinUI control. So how do I get this from this MAUI specific type of control into the platform control? So in this case, a WebView 2. Actually, is that all I have to do? Try to cast it to a WebView 2? I wonder if there's a way to do that. Or if there's pretty much a way to tell this thing to just be a WebView 2. It's not going to have root component though. So I'd have to figure out how to construct a WebView 2. But let me just see if there is something on the interwebs that says that we can go from a MAUI Blazor WebView to a WebView 2. I don't think this is going to give me anything because this is a WinForms app. Yeah, I wish they would show us what the WebView 2 equivalent of this would be. Oh, I guess I also forgot this. I forgot that, and yeah, that's the only thing that I would have forgotten. So then the next thing that I tried to do, since we can't cast directly from a Blazor WebView to the UI element, which would be a WebView 2, is I tried to get the handler, because we just learned, I read through a whole bunch of documentation that said every control, and actually I'll show the picture that it has, every control has a handler for it. So we have an interface, in this case an iBlazor WebView, and we're using the Blazor WebView control in our app. But when we're targeting a specific platform, the rendering engine, whatever it is that does the magic behind the scenes, goes out and gets the appropriate handler for that specific platform. So in this case, we're looking at Windows, and the underlying platform view for that handler is the native control. Yeah, okay. That made sense. I think I rehearsed that correctly, so that should make sense to my brain from now on. The problem is when we create this control here, I don't think that it knows what platform it's running on or targeting or anything like that, so we don't get a handler by the time we get here. And so handler is null, so I can't get the platform view for that handler. And I haven't found what I can do with the Blazor web view. Maybe I can hook into the handler changed. But the thing is, this control isn't getting put anywhere to get a handler. And be able to add it to the window. Does it have something to do with the binding context? Yeah, there's got to be either a method that we can call that makes it get the handler or an event that we can hook into. See, I'm going to try hooking into that handler changed event, but I really don't think that it's going to do anything because it's going to get disposed before it, unless I put it somewhere else. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Okay, yeah, let's try that. Let's try hooking into the handler changed. Okay. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to hold onto this Blazor web view as a private variable. Oops. With our naming conventions. Ooh, I didn't realize it was still running. All right, so it's going to get initialized here. We're going to hook into the handler changed event, which means that we won't dispose of the object once we're done with this thing here. But I just have a feeling we're not going to get a handler at all. Or we can do it like this. Actually, let's just do it like that. If BlazWebView handler is null, do nothing. Otherwise, BlazWebView handler, do the thing. Handler platform view. Okay. So I have a feeling we're not going to hit this breakpoint at all, ever. But why not try it? I don't know what the life cycle is that would give this thing a handler. Yeah, nothing. Nothing at all. And I don't know how to use WebView 2. So if I was in main window.saml, could we even add one of those though? Just wondering. Inquiring minds want to know. Do we actually call it WebView 2? If we're trying to add it this way? No, I don't think so. I think it's just called WebView still. And then I don't know what to put in there. Okay, so WPF WebView 2 or Blazor static. I don't want the Blazor WebView though. It does have an underlying WebView. I didn't see that. Interesting. It has a thing called a core WebView 2. That says it doesn't have a thing called a core WebView. What? Why would you give that to me as a property if that's not actually a property? Yeah, so this thing is called a Blazor WebView 1, and it has a WebView. I have another idea. What if we got rid of the line that's causing the error? Okay, then what? Then we come cry in a corner, obviously. Okay, so the only thing that this thing didn't like was this part here. So I was using X colon, but X colon does not exist here in this. Apparently, according to this, it doesn't. And the other thing that I tried to do was add a Y version of this that has the one that is in use on main page, for example. So main page says XML namespace that we are aliasing as X, targets 2009 XAML, and then it uses that X colon type here, the type extension. Okay. Unfortunately, that doesn't work unless that's actually coming from here, the type extension. That would be interesting. So let's call this 2. Yeah, no. Nope. Nope. Yeah. Anyway, the extension is coming from somewhere and I have no idea where. So what if, this is a big what if we got rid of that? Can we put a name on this? We can't put a name on this. So we're going to have to try to get the root components and add the root component ourselves, which we can do. We've already proved that we can add the root component. But I do need to use this instead. So close out you, not close out, but comment you out. Keep this one. Oh, this is going to work. This is going to work. Oops. We're going to keep you first. Root components. Hello? No, I need to call it something else. It's trying to use the namespace. BlazorWebView, which is still probably not good. Main Blazor UI. Why can't I see you in the code behind? Do you need a second? Do I need to give you a second? Oh, because it has an error. Hasn't been able to. Come on, this has to work. Something's got to work, right? That didn't build. Unknown type BlazorWebView. But I thought we got that to work before. I know we got this to work before. All right. Unknown type, BlazorWebView, and XML namespace. So what namespace are you supposed to be in? Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.Components.WebView.MAUI.BlazorWebView. Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.Components.WebView.MAUI.BlazorWebView. So what do you mean? What do you mean? I mean, you need to. Actually, you know what? Let's do this differently. Except that it's going to finish in time, so never mind. Let's do .NET Clean, .NET Restore, build our shared library, build our shared components, build our individual skin projects, build the UI combined skins project, build the Blazor app, as in the web app, sorry. And finally, this should work now because everything is clean, right? Right? You're just going to build. Here goes. Building. Build successful. Damn. Unknown type. Did I move this namespace? No. Still using Microsoft.ui.xaml window. Wait, am I? Yes, I am. I was like, I don't see main window. It was right there. Well, let me just do this real quick. So that I can do the dot portion of it. Not resources. Root component. Add root comp. Okay, so if I can get this thing here to be recognized, then that gets rid of the error that I was having here, because now I can do component type of main here. What if we did this? Because what if it was the commented out code inside of it that was keeping it from building? I mean, I doubt it, but gosh. Yep. Now it's even worse because it doesn't know BlazorWebView nor root component, which really doesn't make sense. Okay. Yeah. Still doesn't know it. Oh man. What is this? Try number 30? 40? Try number 50. 50, 45, 580, 40. Dang. That really seemed like it would work if I could get this thing to understand a Blazor WebView. But I think it's maybe that I can't add a MAUI control to a Microsoft.ui.xaml control, or in this case, view layout. Shapoopy. Oh, where did the time go? Okay. Well, that's no fun. Um, that is my time for the day. I need to get ready for a meeting about the project, of course. Yay. So, we're gonna raid because we have lots and lots of people here. Lots and lots of people. A million. Oh man, and I missed the follow from Stealthy Simeon. So stealthy. Anyway, thank you so much for the follow, Stealthy. Appreciate you. Hope you're having a great day. We're gonna go ahead and set up a raid. And if anyone has any recommendations, then feel free to let me know. Otherwise, we will head over to somebody that's having fun. Oh, yeah. So she was talking about learning C# earlier and was playing around with different approaches, and we rated her last time that she was doing this, but the Code It Live channel, there is a, she calls herself the JavaScript girl in a .NET world. And so she is having fun learning .NET. I'm waiting for the commercial to finish. And she's using Visual Studio for Mac too. And she's trying MAUI as well. So it's really relevant. We could also go over to the Visual Studio channel where they're talking about HTTPS updates in .NET 7, which sounds super duper interesting. I've been listening in a little bit, but I think they're wrapping up. So those are my couple of options. If any of you have any other suggestions, I'm open to them. Otherwise, I will start setting up the raid now. And if you do want to go somewhere else, I'll just interrupt the raid and go somewhere else. But for now, we're going to try heading over to Code It Live again for the second time, because I love supporting people that are like, I want to learn .NET. I want to learn C#. I'm like, yes. We are here to support your decision to learn .NET and C# and stuff. At least I am. So anyway, if you feel like it, feel free to hang around for the raid. I will be hanging out in the Code It Live channel as well after I grab a snack and then do my meeting, and then I have another meeting after that, and then I'll get back to work eventually. But yeah, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you for sticking with me while I struggled through this. I think maybe next time, because of the title, so tomorrow I'll stream again. Oh, where's my ending screen? I'll stream again tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time, which is UTC -6 for 2 hours during my extended lunch break. I think we're going to just drop the title bar stuff and start on an actual project together. So I've been wanting to do a full .NET MAUI project. We have pretty much all of the functionality and everything that we need to be able to do to create the UI and the just everything. So except for the title bar mess, but everything else works. So that's what we're going to do next time. I hope you join me. If not, please enjoy the rest of your time. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your week. Have a fantastic, fun time. That's it for me. Ciao for now.